that picture. You give it a show? Okay. Okay, so I thought this was a really powerful irony. Creon refuses to bury Polynices, who's dead, and then he puts Antigone, who's living, in a tomb. Like I said right here, I just want to say, no Creon, we bury dead people, not living ones. Anybody find that pretty ironic? Or even notice that?
Are you talking about how it was funny how he sent Antigone off to like a living death, but yet after his family members died, he was basically living a living death?
Yeah, and he also put Antigone in a tomb where dead people belong. And she wasn't dead. So what I saw here was that Creon really allowed his pride to get in the way so much that he put a living person in a tomb and didn't bury a dead person. And this really just angers the gods, I suppose. It's a double blasphemy for Creon. And so does anybody have any thoughts about what this might add to Creon's character, or what the audience knows about Creon?
I think it takes away from his judgment. I mean, if you see that he does this one thing, he doesn't bury Polynices, because he has these reasons, and some people might be able to understand that first reason, but then when he goes and puts Antigone in a living tomb, that's completely hypocritical to what he did before. So his judgment just goes out the window.
Okay. Do you think that takes away veracity from his character?
I'd like to say so, but I think sometimes he's justified, so I don't know where to go with that.
Yeah. I just feel like it's such a strong irony that it shows that his hubris is completely clouding his judgment, and it makes him seem like he's not fit to be a king because of his pride.
On some levels.
Okay, so I feel like there's a lot of foreshadowing in this play. There's maybe not necessarily foreshadowing, but lots of characters tell Creon, you don't need to do this, you need to take away the punishment from Antigone and just bury Polynices. So, like I said, how often was Creon warned? First quote, "My king, ever since he began, I've been debating in my mind, could this possibly be the work of the gods?" That's what the leader says. This is after the sentry starts talking about how somehow, they don't know how yet, Polynices was buried, or I suppose had dirt thrown on top of him. So I think that was Creon's first warning. Second one, "Now don't, please, be quite so single-minded, self-involved, or assume the world is wrong and you are right." I thought that was a pretty wise saying by Haman. This is obviously when him and his father got into a pretty big argument, and this is another indication that Creon is allowing his pride and hubris to get in the way of his judgment. Haman also mentions the public outrage and how they are all insistent that Creon take away the punishment from Antigone. And also, the blind prophet has his long, drawn-out speech about how the birds are killing themselves, the gods are angry, and Creon needs to take away that punishment from Antigone. And I found this ironic as well as some other irony. "What should I do? Tell me, I'll obey." He says that to the leader, and that really just shocked me when he said that, because he's been denying the truth this whole entire time, and finally he says, "I'll obey." I thought that was pretty ironic. Do any of you have any input into that?
Where did he say that?
He says that right after Tiresias gives his long speech, and he says, "No, you're crazy, go away." And then he's talking to the leader, and Creon just feels beat down, and he finally says that right there.
That after